Newly elected ANC Treasurer General Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa says the sluggish economy remains a concern. She's calling for heightened consolidated efforts between business and government on interventions.
We must commit that no one must be left behind. If 80% of our country is not productive, we know that whatever we do is very minuscule in working in our endeavors to achieve this inclusive growth and this shared prosperity. The Office of the Treasurer General, you have interfaced with this office continuously, some of you over decades, and I would like us to indeed look at the areas that we should prioritize.
Ramokgopa becomes the first woman to be elected to the position of Treasurer General in the ANC's history. She's faced with a task to diagnose the problems within the organization. She says the party needs to manage its finances better going forward.
Just after this meeting, one of my first engagement is to get a briefing on what is urgent, what we can do in the medium term, and what we need to do to go into a stretch session and plan for the long-term sustenance of the ANC finances. As you know, I'm a medical doctor, and my brief is to make sure that we have a financial health, and I've taken that seriously as well.
Communications and Digital Technologies Minister Khumbudzo Ntshavheni also formed part of the breakfast session, where she revealed to business that South Africa is making great strides towards a digital economy.
South Africa must develop a national digital economy blueprint by 2023, and this should accelerate the digitization of government and society to ensure that at least 50% of South Africa's economy is digital by 2030. Our targets are very ambitious. And that the ANC government must support the repurposing of and repositioning of SAPO to be competitive and viable in the digital economy, including all modalities that will include funding, and also the protection of the reserved businesses of SAPO, though we're encouraging SAPO to partner with SMMEs.
This has been welcomed by business delegates that say it's time the country's economy becomes modernized.
I'm happy with the fact that the one is not going to be implemented as is, that they've tweaked it to balance the current requirements in terms of how technology is moving, the agility of ensuring that SMEs are participating in the telecommunications sector. So I'm very proud of her department for coming up with those action points that she's listed. Exceptional as well is the innovation that I've actually spoken about when I did speak to her on the floor.
Other businesses say the digital divide has over time hampered growth of small businesses and their ability to be active participants in the country's economy.
For us to get our message across, you have to use the most modern forms of digital transformation, because the old print media is very expensive and it is not as accurate to get to the customer, whereas this one is immediate and it's cheaper as well. It's more responsive. So it's a whole new form. If we don't modernize our way of marketing, we will become irrelevant in the marketplace.
The newly elected Treasurer General of the governing party says hers is to close the gap between business and government in efforts towards an inclusive economic growth. She has denounced corruption, vowing to lead honestly and transparently, firm commitments as well around the strengthening of the ICT sector in a move towards the digital economy. Katlego Logodi, SABC News, Johannesburg.